So now I think it's important to talk about what happens while he's here and what he's here for. And, you know, in conjunction with that, obviously, is where he came from and why he came from that. But with some time spent with him, I have determined a few things. He's all backlit. Let's go in and say hi a little. Health-wise, he seems to be sorta doing okay. He is still a little splatty, which it's not unusual. He didn't have a lot of transport time. It really was only 3 hours or so transport. And before that there was, I believe, none, because he just kind of came off the range and then went down into a couple different corrals. But the food and water were, well, the hay that he got was pretty good actually. It's kind of green, but that's what it could possibly give this. But when they're coming off of the range kind of thing and they're really just eating sticks and bits of old grass and all that kind of thing, then you know, they're going to be getting, you know, after they get rich hay, they're going to be a little bit liquidy. But the other problem was he was pretty dehydrated. He actually, we were keeping a very sharp eye on him because he didn't go pee for quite a while. I think it was somewhere around 11 this morning was his first time. And that's trackable in here. But the good thing is, because it's trackable, we can see he's got one there, he's got one over there. It would be nice to see more, for sure. He needs to drink lots, so he's got lots of water. This thing was chock-a-block full to the tippy top, and now it's much lower. So one of the things that I talk about, having a paddock based system environment for taking care of horses, is that it's very easy to track their eating, drinking, pooping, so basic health. And that's definitely what we want to do here, because this guy is not the healthiest. He's underweight. He's definitely going to need to have some weight, quite a bit of weight actually, I'd say. Yeah, I did an assessment, like just a quick live stream thing for members. It was just going to be something small. But he's, you know, he's young, but he definitely needs some more meat on those bones. So as I say, in the horse world, he needs groceries. He good 100 pounds probably do him good. He's a very soft boy. He doesn't really you know, he doesn't seem too troubled. He's very quiet, but I think it's also because he's just under the weather a little bit. He's not full of energy, because he's just not full of energy. He needs to have more energy. So I'm gonna feed him. He appears to have possibly taken, I don't know if it's gonna show, but if we look under there, just on his right side, or our right side, come on camera, of his mouth, a little bump there, just on the right side, and or his left side, our right, and he seems to have possibly, I'm not sure, I have to have a vet come in, possibly a chipped tooth. Hard to say. Can't exactly get too close to him to open his mouth. He had to yawn to get that figured out, or for me to get that figured out. He looks very splotchy, but that's because he's going to shed out. Winter time is definitely going to fade. It's cold this morning, but it's warm today. So his, you know, hair's missing here and there, and colors are his new colors, or some his summer colors are coming through. You'll see that we can't really get to this side of his body. I can get better to the other side. So assessing behaviors, concern, he does stay nicely squared up, and he's certainly not, you know, he doesn't doesn't get too worried. We can touch him a little. You know, he doesn't get too concerned. See, his ears are still up, and of course the camera's not. There we go. Ears are still up, and he's not too concerned about being touched. I can get pretty close to his eyes, but he certainly won't close them like he does, like the ones around here do. But he seems to be tolerating me well, which is really nice. He's not followed me once though. I've never had him where he'll follow me around, but we're going to continue to work on that lots and lots. A little bit of construction going on a couple of houses over. Bit of yawning there. We got to see some teeth. If I can zoom in while we've got this video running, if he does that again for us. And you might be able to see that tooth, one tooth, maybe not, but you can see on his left hand side is maybe not, I don't know. There, right there, just that little bump that's there. So probably got in a fight is my expectation with another horsey, and took one to the mouth. So lots of work to do. He is a 3-year-old Wildie and is a stud still. So he's essentially able to make baby horses. We don't want that around here, so he's going to be gelded. That is the first order of business. Second order of business is to check his teeth and his body. We don't know if he's got any bugs. We're essentially worrying about ticks and lice. And of course, if he's wormy, which I will actually bring you guys through the process of figuring out if he is and how possibly wormy he is through what's called a fecal egg count. And we'll try to count an average of how many eggs are in his poop. So very important to do that before you worm, so that after you worm you can do a comparison and find out if the medicine that you use is effective or ineffective, or even if you need to bother if there's anything in there in the first place. So definitely going to be doing all of that. He does need his feet trimmed, but what I'm really happy about is that he looks like he has some pretty solid feet. Quite happy with the way they look. I like the way that they stand up. You know, they're not all crunched under. He doesn't have crunched under heels. His toes aren't too long, and being on this gravel, he's going to wear them out quite nicely. If we can get close to him on the side, he seems to be tolerating us well. We can see on his quarters he's got a bit of a crack starting, bit chips coming off, but same with over there. And his back are pretty crumbly on the bottom. So it won't, I don't think it'll be long before bits and pieces might crack off or just sand themselves off, because there's no chance that I'm trimming this guy. And same with this foot here. I'm gonna come down low. He actually appears maybe like he's willing to tolerate me a little more if I'm down low. Maybe less of a threat. But a big chunk missing there, sort of thing. And but otherwise, I think his feet look great. He's still young, so I've spent a lot of time with him, and it's really helped, I think, because he, you know, he gets pretty dozy when I hang around with him, which is fantastic. It means I got a little bit of a connection, and oh, look at that reach. He's come a little closer. He might want to sniff the camera. So the next topic really is, why is he here? Why do we have a BC Wildie, and what is a BC Wildie? So the beginning of this video started with a phone call. The phone call is from a seller who gets some horses in from the range. Essentially they get kind of like if you're American or follow the American Mustang, it's the same idea. The feral horses get rounded up, they get corralled somewhere and then adopted out or shipped off for slaughter. Same for us. All of our wildies that get brought in, essentially either if they have the opportunity to get adopted, and there are some great people who are adopting or buying these guys and then trying to adopt them out to anybody who will take one, but plenty of them still get shipped off because we still unfortunately do horse slaughter here in Canada. And then some get shipped overseas, live export. So this is one guy that, of many, there's quite a few still, not that they've been here, but other places that have taken them, that is not going to be dog food. And that's fantastic. And I wanted to actually highlight that in future videos a little bit about horse slaughter and sort of a bit of the politics behind it, a bit of the reasoning behind it, practicality of it, but you know, what can we do if we want to do anything, and what would it take to take care of one? And that's what this series is definitely going to be about, is what it's going to take to get him to accept. He does never, I don't know if he's ever been haltered. The story was maybe he's been haltered in his life, but to be honest, I can't barely get near him unless it's straight on straight. So that's likely not going to be a possibility. I do not know what's going on over there. They're messing around with some machinery. But we got to get near him, and so that's going to take a little bit, and then obviously education from there, because an uneducated horse is a dead horse, as they say, and we don't want that. So I purchased him because I want to highlight these guys. I want to save some of them if I can. Right now it's all of my own money, but I am hoping to put together a series of videos that would encourage everybody to join the memberships, maybe, because I'm going to try to put as much as I can over there as part of the subscription service that it is. It's no different than a magazine you might get in the mail. It comes out, payment comes out monthly kind of thing, but you get material weekly or hopefully daily in this case. And I'm hoping that will be a good exchange of services for the support and possible some kind of sponsorship for horses like this that come in off the range and need somebody to take a chance on them. Need somebody to say, hey, I can give it a try. You know, maybe we can be friends and I can teach you some stuff, and you might be just a nice little horsey for somebody in the future. And so I think that twofold, it's going to be quite powerful in that regard, because if he turns out, and I expect him to, turns out really well, then what we'll have is a horse that has been educated, and hopefully a whole public that has been educated on no different than the Mustang challenges that are being done, on how we can take these horses that were possibly destined for what? Hey buddy. Oh. That's actually his very first step towards me. I'm very happy about that. I gotta admit, I'm very happy he came forward. He's never done that. It's only been a day, but anyhow, I'm gonna cover this more in another video as we continue to train and talk about them, and hopefully get this thing on a roll. Space is a little limited, definitely funds are limited for this ability, but I'd like to do it more. So anybody who wants to help support this guy and support me and us here, it's not just me, that's for sure, to work with these guys and get them, you know, saved, I guess we could say it. We could be saving them, essentially. Yeah. Turn him into these guys here, little domesticated horses. Roni's rather nervous about him, doesn't want him to go anywhere near his Lena. But yeah, otherwise he wouldn't be here. Somebody might have took him for sure, but many of them go away to a different fate, and we don't want that, so we're gonna keep working on that hard. Anyways, he's dozing away next to me. I'm gonna call it at that. It's been a bit long. Thanks for listening to my monologue and listening to a little bit of his story. It's hard to get to this side, you know, hard to get over there. He says, I'm not happy with it, it makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, no problem. We'll stick to one side for a little bit and keep testing, keep checking. Hopefully he can make a friend, and I'll bring you guys through the process of some of the training, some of the medical stuff for sure, when the vet comes. I've got a message in, but it's Easter. Happy Easter for everybody who celebrates it. And when he gets back to me, then we'll get him in here and get him working on this guy and see what we're looking at for sure. But otherwise, he's a great horsey. Everybody loves him so far. Everybody's commented on he has such a kind eye and a pretty face and all that kind of business. So that's it. We'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Such a beautiful day, such a great day to have him here. The weather to go get him was not so good, but he's here now. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next one.